Hey everyone, welcome back to my shop. I got a quick project that my daughter asked me to do. We are going to be building a catwalk, as she calls it, for her cats in her apartment. This project's going to be a little bit challenging because since she is renting the apartment, we cannot make any permanent connections to anything in the apartment. So we came up with a clamping system, and we'll show you how that goes. It's going to run up her stairs and across in front of a window so her cats can have a nice view. The things we do for love of our children. So I'm going to be making this from scrap lumber that I have around the place, and it's not going to be real pretty, but it will be functional. We do plan to cover it with carpet, so the wood that I'm using doesn't have to look that good, and the joints don't have to be perfect. So with that, I'm going to make some pieces here, and then we'll go to her apartment and start putting it together. So, we got things prefabricated. Give you an overview of what we got going on here. This is my daughter's apartment. We got a stairway here that we're going to make a walk for this cute little kitten here. And she's going to walk outside of the banister, come around the column, continue up and over and across the window so she can have a nice place to go. So that's what we're going to do today. I'll show you a few pieces of how this is all going to fit together. Now, the pieces that I pre-made in my shop, we're going to fit right between the balusters here. And since we're not allowed to fasten directly to the balusters, I've come up with some blocks to fit on each side, and we're going to fasten one block to the portico, and on the back side this other one is not going to fasten to it, but we are going to bolt through, and that'll create a clamping action on the balusters without damaging them. Now, the walk itself just going to be made out of 2x6s and leftover lumber, and they're going to ride just about there with this hanging like so. So you can see that there's a spot there for the kitty to walk through while she climbs up. We're also going to be putting carpet on these boards and stapling it to that so she has a nice soft place to walk. So, right, Kata? Yeah. So when we have these up here, we need to trim the bottom to match the angle of the stair, because we're going to put pocket holes from here into the walking surface. To determine the angle of the stairs is pretty easy. All we do is we take a piece of paper, nice square edge. There's a nice little lip right under this board that's at the angle of the stairs. So I take the piece of paper, hold it up, I crease it right in there, take my glove, I crease it right in there, and there's the angle of my stairs in relation to level. Pretty simple. So now we take our template that we just made for the stairs and we determine what the real angle is. Pretty simple. Take and put the template up against my miter saw, and I turn till I get it lined up to the right angle. Now this angle is not critical, but we want it as close as we can, just so you get a good fit. So, reading on the dial here, we got 40 degrees, just about. So that's our angle. Now we're going to cut a template of the angle so that we can make sure that we got everything going well. So now we just check our angle of our template that we just made, and you can see it matches the slope of the stairs. So now when we go to cut the bottom of these, we cut them at that angle. Pretty easy. Okay, so we took our first portico here, cut it just to make sure, test fit, and the angle matches just right. So next, we drill some pocket holes in this side, and we're going to cut our board to length and start doing things, putting them together. We cut our template with the miter saw and the board like so and the miter saw like this, but when it came to cutting the porticos, it's actually easier to cut with the board laying like that, cutting at the angle. So we just changed the way we cut it to make so the saw, instead of this way, is cutting that way. So that makes it a lot easier. fingers. Let's see if we can do something to prevent that from happening again.
Yeah, that's better.
Okay, let's do her again.
Okay.
Well, as you saw in the cut there, we had one of the legs snap on us as we were trying to cut the angle. Lack of foresight on my part. I ended up cutting a little block to fit between the legs so that didn't happen again on the rest of mine. Now I got a leg to fix here. As you can see, broken leg. All we're going to do, I brought some glue. We'll glue it, clamp it, and we'll use our little spacer to help us clamp it, and we'll fix it. I love pocket holes. Our system works. That seems to work. That looks about right, which means so this is what you call a really small shop. this is cutting the carpet. Quick way to measure. Nope. Instead of folding the carpet over,
fold the board over.
fold the board over. There's your cut line.
Cool.
Hold.
Yeah.
Ready? Okay. All right. Fold them. I'll staple them.
Saw it really move when you did that one. That's pretty sturdy.